For over 400 years, one name has pretty much towered over all of world literature: William Shakespeare. But let's be real. In our world of nonstop streaming and endless news stories, how does a writer from the 16th century still hold on to the title of the greatest? You know the words. Even if you've never cracked open a copy of Hamlet, you've heard this line. But see, it's way more than just a famous quote. It's a question that just echoes through time, doesn't it? It perfectly captures that universal feeling of uncertainty. And it all came from a mind that completely changed how we see ourselves. So that's the real puzzle we're going to tackle in this explainer. How did one guy's words from so long ago basically conquer the world? Was it just incredible writing, or is there something, deeper going on? Let's break down the man, his work, and his legacy to figure it out. All right, so to really get the legend, you got to start with the man himself. Or at least what little we actually know about him. Let's start with the few facts we have. So we know the basics. Born in 1564, dies in 1616. But here's where it gets really juicy: the gap. Between 1585 and 1592, he just vanishes from all historical records. Historians call them the lost years. And when he pops back up again, he's suddenly a star on the London theater scene. That huge blank space in his life story is a mystery that still hooks us today. And wow, when he did show up, he didn't just write a few plays. He became a total theatrical powerhouse, churning out a body of work that is just staggering in its scope and its quality. Just think about his incredible range for a second. On one hand, he could give you the dark psychological grit of Macbeth, a story about ambition that literally eats a man alive. And then, on the other hand, he could give you the pure joyful chaos of A Midsummer Night's Dream, with its magical fairies and mixed-up lovers. He was a master of every mood, every genre. I mean, the sheer amount of work is just mind-blowing. Dozens of plays, tragedies, comedies, histories, not to mention 154 sonnets with some of the most beautiful poetry ever put to paper. And here's the crazy part: we almost lost about half of it. It's only because his friends gathered his plays into what's called the first folio after he died that masterpieces like Macbeth and Twelfth Night didn't just disappear forever. But here's where Shakespeare's genius goes to a whole other level. He didn't just use the English language. In a lot of ways, he actually built it. Just look at that number, 1,700. Let that sink in for a second. That's how many words and phrases historians think he introduced to English for the very first time in his plays. The man wasn't just using the language, he was actively inventing it as he went. And I'm willing to bet you've quoted him, probably without even realizing it. Ever tried to break the ice at a party? Been in a pickle? Or been sent on a wild goose chase? All of those phrases, and hundreds more, come straight from Shakespeare's quill. His DNA is literally embedded in the way we talk every single day. Okay, but this is the real core of it all. More than the incredible stories, more than the inventive words. Shakespeare's true, lasting genius was his uncanny understanding of us, of human nature. He didn't just write about universal feelings. He took them apart to see how they worked. I mean, let's take something like ambition. In just one line from Lady Macbeth, he captures the terrifying duality of it all. The pressure to look harmless on the outside while hiding a poisonous agenda underneath. It's such a chillingly perfect description of power that it feels like it could have been written yesterday. Or how about jealousy, that nasty, corrosive, all-consuming emotion? And through the villain Iago, he gives it the name we still use today, the green-eyed monster. He perfectly captures how it devours you from the inside out, mocking the very person it's infecting. This is his real gift, giving us the words for our deepest, messiest feelings. And because of this deep insight, his characters aren't just characters anymore. They've become archetypes. They're the blueprints. When we talk about crippling indecision, we think of Hamlet. When we talk about blinding jealousy, we think of Othello. They've become these universal symbols we use to make sense of ourselves. So you see, when you start putting all these pieces together, the mysterious life, the language he built, the profound human insight, you start to get why his legacy isn't just surviving. It's absolutely thriving. His legacy thrives because his stories are constantly being reborn in ways we all know and love. The witty battle of the sexes and the taming of the shrew, that becomes a classic 90s high school comedy. The royal tragedy of Hamlet, it provides the exact blueprint for one of the biggest animated movies of all time. His plots are so fundamental, so human, they can be plugged into any time and any place. And maybe this is his most famous insight of all. Shakespeare just knew that the dramas he was putting on stage, the love, the betrayal, the ambition, the comedy, were really just reflections of the dramas we all live out every single day. So in the end, Shakespeare's work lasts not just because he was a brilliant writer, but because he was a profound student of humanity. He held a mirror up to the human condition, and 4 centuries later, we're still looking into it and seeing ourselves. So the most fascinating question isn't just about him, it's about us. What does that timeless reflection really say about who we are?